Clark was just named Time's 2024 Athlete of the Year, and she gave her most vulnerable interview yet, even commenting on some of the most controversial issues surrounding her this year. So let's talk about it. What's up, you guys? I'm Rachel DeMita, and welcome to the Courtside Club. Today is day 2 of the 12 days of Radmas, where we will be uploading 12 videos between now and Christmas Day, and 50% of the earnings that we make on these videos I will be donating to animal shelters here in Texas. So obviously, all of the views, likes, comments, everything is greatly appreciated and will also be going to a great cause. With that, you guys, today I wanted to talk about Caitlin Clark's Time magazine interview because she talked about some of the things that we have been talking about on this channel for honestly the entire year. Some of the most controversial things, the narrative surrounding her, they dove into all of that. I thought they did a really great job at least asking some of these tough questions. They gave her a platform to address some of these things. So I read the interview, went through it. There was 11 things that I took out of it. Let's dive into it. So firstly, they asked about the controversies surrounding her, kind of how that made her feel. And this is what she had to say. She said, "I tell people I feel like the most controversial person, but I am not. It's just because of all the storylines that surround me. I literally try to live and treat everybody in the same exact respectful, kind way. It just confuses me at times." And as you guys know, throughout this entire year, Caitlin Clark has been at the center of so many controversies, whether she said something or not, whether she did something on the court or not. And that is something that we have addressed many times on this channel, how the media ran with some of these storylines and it ended up doing harm to not only her, but literally everyone else involved. And it seemed like throughout the entire WNBA season, Caitlin Clark was just trying to become the best basketball player that she could possibly be and win games, yet she still fell victim to being in the middle of all of these controversies. So the fact that she saw some of that and she feels that way kind of sucks, but I'm hoping that from this interview and then just the healing process before next season, some of this stuff will start to die down. Secondly, something that I thought was interesting was her talking about Taylor Swift. So she actually said that she wasn't a huge Swiftie until she went to the Eras Tour, and then she ended up going to the Eras Tour back to back. She met Taylor Swift's mom, and she also met Travis Kelce. She's a huge Kansas City Chiefs fan, so I'm sure that was cool for her. But she also talked about how Taylor Swift gave her 4 bags of Eras Tour merch with a note saying that Clark was inspiring to watch from afar. She said, "Trav and I were excited to get to a Fever game now and that the tour was winding down, and they invited Clark to attend a Chiefs game with her." Can I just say, if there is a Caitlin Clark Taylor Swift crossover at any point in recent time, like if that happens at any point, the internet's going to break. If we could get Taylor Swift, could you imagine Taylor Swift at a WNBA game? I don't even know if she's ever been to an NBA game. So now let's get into some of the heavier topics of the interview. Caitlin was asked about Angel Reese and the whole "you can't see me" controversy that actually happened during both of these ladies' junior year. It was in the Final Four. Iowa was facing off against LSU, and that whole thing happened. Here's what Caitlin Clark had to say about Angel and also the rivalry between the two. She said, "I don't get that at all. We're not best friends by any means, but we're very respectful of one another. Yes, we have had tremendous battles, but when have I ever guarded her, and when has she guarded me?" She downplays Reese's gesture. She said, "I didn't think it was taunting. It really didn't bother me. It's just like, why don't you talk about them winning or the incredible run that we went on that nobody would have thought we could have ever gone on? The only thing people cared about was this controversy, and that was really fabricated and made up, and then that has continued to be the case ever since." Now, this is not the first time and probably will not be the last time that Caitlin has addressed this fabricated rivalry between her and Angel Reese. And she says here, "We're not best friends." Take that how you want it. I have been saying this from the jump as well. Maybe it did do something for the sport in a sense that it gets people excited to see these two go up against one another, but it's not a true rivalry. They don't guard each other. They're different positions. They are on different playing fields when it comes to to their skill level. I'm glad that she addressed it. Once again here, she didn't think that the "you can't see me" thing was that much of an issue. But again, the media did run with that. It worked for a little bit. For the better or for worse, it did get some people interested, but at the same time, it did spew just so much hate and negativity across the internet and just turned into something that ended up being so toxic that honestly, you guys, still seems like it hasn't gone away. I'm waiting for that rivalry narrative to end, and maybe it'll be one more season of it because the Chicago Sky are playing the Indiana Fever 5 times this season. So we're gonna get even heavier when it comes to this next topic because race, of course, was brought up. Unfortunately, I feel like of all the things that Caitlyn said in this interview, all the things that she was asked about, this specific section is still the one that at the moment is still going viral on social media. Everybody from every corner of the world has all of their different opinions on it. People are now arguing about what she said. If she said enough, she should have said it sooner. She said too much, she shouldn't have said that. Like, it doesn't seem like anybody can win when it comes to these conversations. Somebody is going to be upset about something and it sucks. So they first talked about Caitlyn Clark's segment on SNL and how she thanked WNBA players who came before her. She thanked Black women like Lisa Leslie, Cheryl Swoops, Cynthia Cooper, Dawn Staley, and Maya Moore, Clark's basketball hero growing up, for paving the way for her success. And then the article goes on and says these stars, despite their athletic prowess, were never rewarded with the same level of attention that Clark is receiving now. Here's a quote from Temi Fagbenle. She said, "America was founded on segregation and to this day is very much about black and white. In a sport dominated by Black African American players, white America has rallied around Caitlyn Clark. The support looks mostly amazing, sometimes fanatical and territorial, sometimes racist. It seems like the Great White Hope syndrome is at play again." And then it goes on to say what A'ja Wilson had to say about this. Going on into the WNBA season, Wilson, a 2-time league champion and now 3-time WNBA MVP, told the Associated Press she thought Clark's race was a huge contributor to her popularity. "It doesn't matter what we all do as Black women, we're still going to be swept underneath the rug. That's why it boils my blood when people say it's not about race, because it is." So then here is what Caitlyn Clark had to say about all of this. She said, "I want to say I've earned every single thing, but as a white person, there is privilege. A lot of these players in the league that have been really good have been Black players. This league is kind of built on them. The more we can appreciate that, highlight that, talk about that, and then continue to have brands and companies invest in those players that have made this league incredible, I think that's important. I have to continue to try to change that. The more we can elevate Black women, that's going to be a beautiful thing." And that quote, you guys, is the one that has been just all over social media. Everyone's chiming in. There are so many people that are saying, it's too little too late. She should have said all of this stuff 2 years ago. There are people saying that she shouldn't have said this stuff at all. Why is she not contributing her success to hard work? Why is she contributing it to her skin color? It's exhausting at this point. I personally hope that we can get to a place in sports where we really can just look at the individual by how well they play the sport, how well they perform on the court, how well, and this is across all sports, how well they hit a tennis ball, how well they do a round off back handspring, how well they throw a football, how well, literally across all sports, we can look at them for their athletic ability and not base their success, why people like them, why people dislike them based on the color of their skin. It does suck to see, just from this one quote, how much toxicity has already just skyrocketed online. I don't know what she could have said that would have made everyone happy. So lastly for this video, you guys, and then I will take the rest of these into tomorrow's video, but she talked about her transition from going to college to the pros. And there was one quote that I honestly thought was so funny. So she said, "I love women's college basketball, but if you go back and watch the way people guarded me in college, it's almost like concerning. They didn't double me, they didn't trap me, they weren't physical, and it's hard. It's college. A lot of these women will never go on to play another basketball game in their life. They don't have the IQ of understanding how the game works. So I completely understand it. And it's no disrespect at all. They just don't have the IQ. You have to simplify it for girls at that age. And then later on in the article, she is hanging out with her now coach, Stephanie White, and they are watching a college basketball game. And she had this to say. She said, "I feel like if I was out there, I would literally have 50. The college game is so much easier than professional." And that is something that we saw at the beginning of the season. Even people like Diana Taurasi said, like, she's in for a reality check. It's going to be a rude awakening. And a lot of people said that about Caitlin Clark coming into the league. Like, good luck having a smooth transition, being the star that you were in college, being that in this league, because it is so much tougher. It is so much more physical. And a lot of fans who are huge Caitlin fans are rolling their eyes and telling them they're haters and this and that. But I think they did have a point, because she admitted it here that it was so much harder going to the WNBA, but also that she was able to rise to the occasion and become a better player in the W. So anyway, you guys, this video is TBD. I will finish the rest of the topics that I found from this interview in tomorrow's video. Let me know in the comments below what you think, what your favorite part about the interview was. Of course, thumbs up this video if you enjoyed it, and click that little subscribe button, because we upload new videos every single week. And with that, you guys, I'll see you tomorrow for some more Radmas. Ooh-y-na.